Hi, welcome back to the second part of our short workshop video series, where today we're going to be talking about becoming fluent in a foreign love language. Now, before we really dive in, I think it's important that we first take a step back and recognize that just like with becoming fluent in a foreign language, becoming fluent in a foreign love language takes time. You're going to make a ton of mistakes. At times you're probably going to feel awkward, and at times you're probably going to be awkward, and that's okay. Give yourself some grace, be patient with yourself, and recognize that perfection isn't the goal. It's connection with those whom you love. Now, while we're talking about all these different love languages, I think it's important also to recognize that part of becoming fluent is learning to love or learning to feel love in a love language that's not your primary love language. Because learning to feel love through one that's not your primary will allow you to better feel the love that your companion or your spouse has for you. Now, it's been said before that it takes 30,000 mistakes in a foreign language to become fluent. Now, I propose that it takes 30,000 acts of love to become fluent in your spouse's heart. And now, just like with those 30,000 mistakes, these 30,000 acts of love is we who get to decide how long it takes us to achieve this feat, achieve this number. So, love openly, love freely, and love with real intent. So first things first, I think it's important that we recognize and we understand our primary love languages. Now, I know that might sound a little counterintuitive, but just roll with me for a second. I know you're here because you want to understand how to better communicate a foreign love language, but understanding how you feel loved and how you receive love is so important because then you can communicate that to other people. And then when you're freely and readily receiving love, you're going to want to freely and readily give love. So, if you haven't already, make sure you go and take the love language quiz. It's very important to recognize where you're coming from and how you best feel loved, and then jump back in. Now, if you just finished taking the test, or whether you're just kind of pondering your love language right now, think about the other 5 love languages or the other 4 love languages and really pick one that feels completely foreign to you, feels completely unknown or alien. That when you read about it, you're like, how does someone feel loved like that? That's not at all how I feel loved. I can't understand how you would begin to feel loved like that. Like, yeah, sure, that feels nice, but pick that one. Think about that one. Learn a little bit more about that one, how that love language feels loved. And then recognize in the future when someone else has that as their primary love language. Every love language is, I think, just as common as another. And so when you're able to recognize which one you really struggle with, becomes a lot easier and a lot more intentional when you see someone with that love language and you make the intentional decision that I'm going to love this person in a way that they can most readily feel it. So make that choice, understand that love language, and now we're going to dive a little bit more in depth into each of the 5 love languages. So the first love language I want to talk about is words of affirmation. Someone whose love language is word of affirmation, they'll probably be leaving you notes, leaving you little love letters. Daily, they'll tell you just how awesome you are and how great you are, and they'll tell you specific things about you that they just love, that just make them so thrilled to know you and to be with you. Now, if words of affirmation isn't your primary love language or is more of a foreign love language to you, these might come off as a little bit more awkward. They might come off as even a little bit inauthentic. But you need to recognize that them trying to build you up is them showing love to you. And so it's important to, when they're building you up and they're saying these wonderful things about you, don't push them aside. Don't brush these comments aside, but really accept them. Because in doing so, you're accepting the love that your significant other is trying to give you. Common mistakes that you might come into when you're trying to speak in this foreign love language, if it is your foreign love language, is 1, being too general, saying things like, you're great, you're fantastic, you're wonderful, you're beautiful, you're handsome, all these things. Great on a surface level, but let's try to achieve something a little bit deeper. Take a specific thing that they do, or that they do for you or for your family, or that they just do in general, and take that specific deed, that specific act, and compliment them on that. Express gratitude and appreciation and affirmation towards that specific goal. Because the more specific you get, the more authentic you become. Now, another common mistake you might come into is making something up. Don't make something up. Don't disrespect the words like that. The words are so important to someone whose love language is words of affirmation. Find something real. Think about it. Put some time and effort into it. And then express that through their love language. Now, set some mini goals for yourself. Sometimes you gotta put it in your calendar, an alarm on your phone, whatever it has to be, daily, weekly, monthly. Set different goals for different ways to communicate in words of affirmation. Maybe once a month you send a love letter. Maybe once a week you put a little sticky note on the door on the fridge. Maybe every day, or as often as you can, you send them a little text telling them how much they mean to you. That's how you express love, through words of affirmation. The next love language I'd like to talk about is acts of service. Now, if this is your primary love language, you probably will run errands for your spouse or for your family or for those in your life that mean so much to you. Odds are you probably end up doing chores, not because you feel like you need to, but because you want to, because you want to be helpful. This person, they often take accountability and responsibility for those whom they love. Now, if this isn't your love language, you might see this all as being helpful, but recognize that this is far more than being helpful. This is showing love and gratitude and appreciation towards the people in their life. Now, a common mistake that you run into when you try to speak in acts of service is a lot of the times you kind of want to jump in and be like, I'll be helpful by doing this, instead of just asking how you can most be helpful. Because sometimes the least helpful thing you can do is just do something random to a person who's already taking responsibility and already has things under control. Jumping in, taking that away from them, or not doing it to the standards that they like, might even cause stress. So just ask, say, how can I best serve you today? What can I do for you today? Or another thing you can do, take a task that you know that they don't like doing, but that they often do, and just do it for them without being told to do. Something like doing a certain chore, doing the dishes. But again, make sure with bigger tasks that you ask how you can most be helpful, or ask if it's okay if you do this exact task for them. The next love language I'd like to talk about is gift giving. Now, if gift giving is your love language, odds are when you're at a store or you're out and about and you see something that reminds you of someone you love, you just feel the need to get it for them because you love them and they're on your mind, and you want to show them that they're on your mind. And you'll go and you'll get this and you'll bring it to them and you'll be like, look at this. Now, if giving is not your love language, you might just see this as, why are you wasting money? Why are you buying these things that we don't need? Why are you buying these knickknacks we're just going to throw away? Recognize that these aren't just knickknacks. These are symbols of you and to this person, symbols of you for their life. Recognize that they're saying, I was thinking about you today. I saw this and I thought of you and my love for you. So accept their gift, love it, cherish it, appreciate it for what it is. A mistake you might run into when trying to speak in this love language is thinking that it's just about money. It's much less about money as it is about the memory, the intent behind what you're doing, what you're buying, how it reminds you of the individual person. So a goal you could set for yourself is maybe sometime this week when you're at the store, whether you're going to get groceries or you're going to get something specific in your life, when you're there, be thinking about the person whom you love and say, is there anything here that reminds me of them? Buy it, tell them why you bought it, tell them what made you think about them when you saw it, and you'll just watch them just light right up. The next love language I'd like to talk about is quality time. If quality time is your love language, you're probably the kind of person that just wants more than anything to spend quality time with the person you love. Undistracted, uninterrupted, just one-on-one time. Just being able to communicate and really connect with your loved one. Now, if this isn't your love language, this might come across as needy or clingy, but recognize that isn't the case. You just value time differently. Something you can do as a little goal is talk with your loved one, talk with your spouse, and say, how much time can we set apart each day, and how can we differ this time? Whether that's, hey, every day at this time, let's have a 15-minute chat, just check in with one another. Or maybe once a week or twice a week, let's do this date together. And really just plan it out and schedule it and stick to it. Make sure it happens. Make sure you can spend that quality time together. Now, one thing to avoid with, or a mistake you might find with quality time, is being there physically but not mentally. Remember, this is supposed to be undistracted, sacred love time with your spouse. Don't be on your phone. Don't be multitasking. Be there for them. Be connected with them and be intentional. Now, the last love language is physical touch. If this is your love language, odds are you just love embracing your spouse at the end of a hard day, or leaning on their shoulder, or just holding hands when you're out and about, and initiating closeness. But if this isn't your love language, you might be caught off guard by this. You might freeze or pull away, not realizing that that pulling away is almost in a way of a rejection of their love. Now, a common mistake you might feel if this isn't your primary love language is thinking and treating physical touch as purely physical. You need to have a mind shift change and recognize that it's emotional reassurance through physical contact. So, something you can really do to focus on as your mini goal for speaking this love language is, with this person whom you're trying to love, once a day, initiate some form of physical contact with them. Whether it's just you're out and about on a walk and you're the one that reaches for their hand, or after a long day when they come home or you come home, you're the one that embraces them. Be there for them physically and tell them how much you really love them through that emotional reassurance. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope this has helped you in some small way. Before we go, I want you to take a second to think about your life and think about the acts of love that you may have been missing from those in your life, whether it's your spouse, your friends, your family. Think about your life and think about the acts of love that people are trying to give you and how you may or may not have missed them. Talk to the people you love and thank them for how they love you. Talk to your spouse or to those whom you're trying to love in your life and communicate, how can I better love you? What can I do for you? They may brush you, away and say, oh no, you do great, love great. And say, I want to love you better. How can I love you better? How can I more fully love you? Recognize and understand, like we said in the beginning, that this is a process. You've got to be patient with yourself. Recognize that it's not going to happen overnight. As much as you love the person, you want to love them in the perfect way, it's not going to happen overnight. But just try again. Try with real heart and real intent. Thank you.